Channel. It's your girl Kaylah Bree. It's your girl Kaylah Bree. Hey, it's your girl Kaylah Bree. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome to my channel. My name is Kaylah and I do fashion, beauty, and lifestyle type of content. So if that's something that you're into, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also hit that notification bell so you don't ever miss an upload from me, because that's what we do on this channel here. So I do have a Moving to Dallas series that I am doing. So this is going to be the first episode in the Moving to Dallas series. I do have a whole entire playlist dedicated to my move to Dallas. If you want to know anything about my move to Dallas, I will put it up in the card below or up above so that you guys can check that out. But as of right now, we are starting a series on my channel about moving to Dallas, and so because I get a lot of questions about Dallas and moving and my move here and all of that thing, so I wanted to give you guys a good video on the pros and cons on living in Dallas. So if you guys want to know all about Dallas and the things that I do like and the things that I don't like about Dallas, continue to watch this video. Okay guys, so I have all of the pros and cons on my phone because I didn't want to miss anything. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. But before we get into the pros and cons, I wanted to get into a little background of my journey of why I moved to Dallas and things like that. So I will start off with saying that I initially did not move to Dallas with the right intentions. I will say that I moved here for, I guess you can say, the wrong reasons. I did have a friend that convinced me to move out here. I came out here to visit a few times, and then I ended up getting a boyfriend out here, and then it just was all of the right pushes to actually get me to move. I was ready to move anyways, but as you guys know from previous videos, I did a 2017 I believe a 2017's goals video where I talked about the places that I really wanted to move to and where I had potentially would like to self-living. And Dallas was definitely not one of those things on the list. It was never in my radar to move to. But with that being said, although I did move here for the wrong reasons, I guess, I did ended up learning to like it here. But I will just say that if you have to learn to like it, you probably don't want to be there. I wouldn't suggest you move to a place where you have to learn to like it. I definitely had to learn to like it, and with that being said, I am glad that I did move here. I've met some amazing people, and I want to go ahead and just give you guys what you guys are here for, is to learn the pros and the cons. But I did want to let you guys know at least a little bit about my background story so that you know why I actually initially moved to Dallas, just in case you are new to my channel. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with the cons, because honestly, to believe it or not, as much as I've complained about Dallas and things like that, I have way less cons and I have way more pros. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the cons because it's not really that many, and I have a lot more pros, and we're gonna, you know, get into the negative and then end it off with a positive. I always try to be as most positive as I can in every situation. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys the cons on living in Dallas. So in my handy dandy notebook, so my number one con, y'all, has to be the traffic here. The traffic here is fucking ridiculous. Sorry, excuse my language, but for real, it's ridiculous. The traffic here is just bonkers. It's crazy. It's out of this world. Like, I moved here and I was like, why is it taking me so long to get up the street? Like, it's literally to the point where you can be 5 miles away and it take you 39 minutes. Like, where do they do that at? Are we in California? Literally, it's really that bad. Like, it's really up there, about up there with California. Like, no lie, it's it ain't there, but it's working its way on up to California level, and that's ridiculous. That's one thing I absolutely do not like about Dallas is the traffic, and I think that's everybody's #1 complaint about living in Dallas is that the traffic is horrible here. And with that being said, another con that I do not like is the tolls. Like, if you live anywhere in North Dallas at all, you are required to take tolls, okay? Like, no matter what, like, you just really can't get around it. Tolls are definitely a monthly bill for you. You have to add that on, so make sure that when you are planning to budget to move out here that you add toll to your monthly budget, because it is definitely a part of the budget. I don't know why it's really no way to really wiggle around getting around the tolls. Like, there is, like, you can take back streets, but the way that the back streets work is like, okay, you're about 10 miles away from your destination. If you take the toll, it'll take you 12 minutes. If you take the roundabout way, it'll take you 55 minutes. Like, that much of a difference. So you'll find yourself using the toll a lot more often, because you like, 55 minutes? I'm not about to sit here for 55 minutes to try to get to, you know, 5 minutes or 10 minutes away. So it's literally like that. So just make sure you just keep that in mind, that you will be paying toll. So, and if you think that you're gonna come out here without a car, you are sadly mistaken. I would highly recommend that you need a car. You need a car. You cannot come out here with no car. I'm sorry. Everything is just so spread out in Dallas that there's absolutely no way you can like survive out here with no car. Like, absolutely not. Like, everything is just way too far from each other. It's just so big. Dallas is huge, okay? And it's just so many places to be, and you need a car. Just saying, you need a car. The next con I don't like about it is I don't like that everything is so spread out. If I wanted to go downtown, it's over here. If I wanted to go to like more of a low-key bar, it's way over here. If I wanted to go to my friend's house, she lived way over there. If I like, it's just, everything is just so spread out, and I do not like it, because that means it requires you to be in the car longer, and it takes a lot more time to get to your destination, because everything is just so far. You're going to be traveling in your car a lot. You're going to be in your car. You're going to spend a lot of time in your car. So just so you know, hours on traffic. You're going to spend hours in traffic. You're going to spend hours driving to and from places, because everything is so spread out. So you just need to know that that is just con for me. I just don't like that. Another con is that it is hella hot out here. Hella hot. Like, you can't breathe out here hot. I do not mess with the heat out here. It is really ridiculous. The summertime is no joke, okay? Like, you hot, so you better not have no clothes on type of hot. Like, it is excruciating pain hot. Like, I could even compare it to Vegas, because Vegas has like kind of that dry heat. Texas has dry heat, but it's a different type of heat, okay? And it's like, I can handle Vegas heat, but I cannot handle Texas heat. The heat, you cannot live without air conditioning. So if you think you're gonna come out here with a car that don't got no AC, you're sadly mistaken. You need a good working car that has AC in it, okay? So just keep that in mind. That is hella hot out here, like over 100 degrees out here. So just, if you don't like heat, you really would not like it here. So keep that in mind. The next thing is more of a personal thing. It doesn't necessarily have to do with Dallas per se, but one thing I do not like about Dallas, or that I don't like about being in Dallas, is the fact that I have really no family or friends here. And that kind of sucks, that, you know, I'm very far away from everything that I've ever known. All of my family, my parents, and you know, things like that. My parents and my up close personal family, they're not here, and that absolutely sucks, especially during holidays when you want to go to Christmas and Thanksgiving and things like that, where people are around their family and you're like, so like Friendsgiving, anyone? It really sucks to be in a whole new state where you don't know anybody or have any family or friends or anything like that. So if you have family and friends in Dallas, and this really wouldn't portray to you, but this is for the people who are going to move out here and have no family, no friends, and just to take that into consideration, that it really does suck to live out in a new state with no family and friends. I will do a dedicated video on moving to a new state alone, so be on the lookout for that video coming really soon. The last thing that I have to say that is a con about Dallas is it's a con and it is a pro at the same time. So, and I'll explain myself and what I mean by that, and that would be the dating out here. Dating out here kind of sucks. The men are here are, yeah, you know, it's really kind of hard to date out here. And if you're new, if you know Dallas and you know, if you know Dallas a little bit, then it's easier to maneuver around and figure out, you know, how to date out here. But when you're brand new to dating in Dallas, dating really fucking sucks, because the Tinder and the online dating, the POFs, the whatever dating sites that they have out here, no, negative. I don't do the dating apps. I don't even own any of the apps anymore. Like I did when I first originally moved here, because I wanted to meet people, and I met people, some good, some bad, you know, whatever, but for the most part it didn't really get me anywhere at all, just using dating apps. So that was definitely a con for me. But now that I lived in Dallas for a while, I can say that I have maneuvered my way in finding out how to date out here. How I learned how to date is I had to stop going to places where I couldn't picture my man being there. So I started going to more places where I could picture my man being at. So I'm like, okay, I don't know, say if you like a thug or whatever, you would go to a certain areas where those type of men would be. If you like a corporate man or business type man, you would go to where a business or a corporate man might be. So you have to know where they're at, like, because there are certain men that are not going to be in certain areas, and that's just what it is. So I had to learn the hard way that I was in the wrong areas and looking for like pretty much a needle in a haystack, because they weren't there. It might be like a slight chance you might find, you know, somebody decent in those areas that you're looking, but are you really willing to, you know, make that battle when you can go to the area where you have more fish of the sea, of a plethora of men that you would actually be interested in talking to? So you have to think about it like that. And also, with that being said, you have to be open to going out alone a lot. That could be a con and a pro. I don't necessarily consider it a con, but it could be a con for other people if you don't like to be alone. Moving by yourself is lonely, okay? So just keep that in mind. It's just lonely. I've learned to love being alone, so I don't mind going to bars by myself. I don't mind going to dinner by myself. I don't mind taking myself to the movies. I don't mind going to have a drink by myself. I don't mind doing things alone, and I had to learn that. Dallas has helped me grow in so many ways. Like, I've grown mentally, spiritually, physically. I've grown in so many different kind of ways. I learned patience out here. I was the most impatient person. I still have my impatient ways, but the fact that I've learned how to be patient and just learning to just embrace who I am as a person. That's why I love Dallas, just because I've just learned to love me, and it's just been an amazing experience just learning myself. We do have predominantly black areas, predominantly white areas, predominantly Hispanic areas. There's Indian. It's very diverse out here. You have to know where to go though. I would say that, like, living out here, you have to know. If you want to be around black people, you have to know where they at, and you have to know what kind of black people you want to be around, and you have to know where they're at. It's so hard to find people who are like-minded when you don't know the place, or you don't know anybody, you don't know any, you know, it's really hard to like get your foot out there and like find you and find the people that you like in the areas you like to be in and the people that you like to be around. I learned I've been around the predominantly black, and I've been to all the clubs, and I've done everything that you can do out here, literally. And I've learned that I didn't really like that much. I learned what kind of things I do like, and what areas I like to be in, and what people I like to be around. And sometimes when you move somewhere, your whole identity changes. You thought you came out here and you wanted to be over here, but in reality you turned out to be over here. So that's one thing that I do love about Dallas, is that there's so many people here. There's so many different type of people. There's so many young black professional men out here, young black professional women out here. The only thing is, the tricky part is just finding where they are. You have to know where the networking is, and it's not just going to be on Eventbrite. Like, sometimes you can find it on there, but sometimes it's not. You have to just get out there, make friends. You have to just put yourself out there so that you can find out where these people are, because they're here. It's just a matter of finding where they're at. Finding the black people, finding the Hispanic people, finding the predominantly white areas, finding the suburbs. Do you like the city? What do you like? You have to know what you like in order for you to figure it out. The only way you can figure it out is if you jump in. You gotta jump in, you gotta just do it. Figure out what you like so that you know where you want to go. But the only way you're gonna figure that out is if you come out here and do it yourself. Trying to figure out what everybody else is doing, you might not even like what they're doing. So just figure it out for yourself. Another thing that I like about Dallas is that the job market out here is so big. I don't see how people cannot find jobs here. I've had 6 jobs. Okay, I've been here only almost 2 years now, and I've had 6 jobs. So there's a lot of jobs out here, absolutely. And you know, I'm able to live in my apartment and pay all my bills. So it's been rough. Yeah, I've had very stretchy moments, of course, but at the same time, it's doable. So what I will say is that the job market is good, and I will be doing a dedicated video on the job market, so stay tuned for that as well. The cost of living out here is predominantly lower than most places. Now we're going to talk about comparison to California, New York, Colorado, any of these big cities, Miami, Florida, any of those big cities, Atlanta, any of those cities that have predominantly big city that tend to be a little bit more expensive. It's very cheap out here comparison to those states. But what I will say that you will, if you want a nice apartment in a nice area, you will be paying at least $1,000. Now to me, that's not that bad, or that's not expensive to me, because in Colorado, what I could get for $1,000 versus what I could get for $1,000 here is significantly different. So I could live a luxurious ass lifestyle out in Dallas for $1,000 versus if I spend $1,000 in Colorado, I'm living in the hood. So it's just about where you're from and what you're used to paying. You can find jobs that, you know, I mean, you can find places to live for you could find luxury apartments for under $1,000. You really can. And that's what blew my mind out here, because I was like, oh my god, like I can actually find a place to live out here that is under $1,000, and it's nice, luxury, like amenities, like everything. Like you can find that out here. It's all about apartment locators. It's all about knowing where to go and what areas you like, and I will also be doing a dedicated video on that as well, so just stay tuned for the Dallas cost of living and just living. I'm gonna do apartment hunting and all of that stuff, so this is why you need to be subscribed, so that you can get all of the tea on all of that as we go along, because I will be moving here soon, so I will be taking you along the journey of me moving and things like that. So that's besides the point. We'll go to the next pro. Networking. I love that you can network out here. There's so many networking events. There's so many people to network with. You can meet the most rich people out here to the most poor people out here. You can have a good variety, a good mix of everything. It's just so much networking to be done. There's so many. Dallas has so many creatives, influencers, entrepreneurs. It's crazy. It's crazy how many people out here are like that. But like I said before, you have to find where they are. So it's kind of hard to find where, you know, these people are, but they are here. So you just have to be patient and finding the places and the things that you like to do. The shopping out here, I could go, like if I had something to do last minute, I can go find me something to wear. Like in Colorado, you couldn't find, like I'm a habitual online shopper, excuse me. And I still am. But if I had a 911 emergency and I needed to go find something for tonight, I can go do that. And I love that about Dallas, like having boutiques out here and having nice little shopping malls and huge malls by that, might I add. Just having all of that here is amazing, and I absolutely love that. And it's not just one mall, it's multiple malls. You can go to Grapevine, you can go to North Park, you can go to the Galleria. It's so many different parts of the malls and just so much shopping to do here, so keep that in mind. Another pro that I would like to talk about is the food here. There's so many different places to eat here, and I love it. I love that there's so many different places to eat. Like there's so many places I still haven't tried. I have my predominantly like favorite places, but there's so many places to try out here, and I absolutely love that. So many museums, so many things to do all the time. So if anybody tell you there's nothing to do, they're lying. There's stuff to do all the time in Dallas. Now it just depends on what you like to do. Like if you like to go to the club 5 days a week, of course you're not gonna find it. But of course, if you like to do different things, like go to museums or go to galleries, fashion shows, anything, literally there's always something to do out here. So I love that about Dallas. I love that I can meet new people and just explore the city and just find things that I like to do that I never knew that I liked to do until I did it. So that's another thing that I love about Dallas. I like that this is a very millennial city. This city is very millennial. Like all the millennials have pretty much taken over this whole city. So I think that's cool. Like just to be around people who are like you is just amazing to me, and I absolutely love that about Dallas. The one thing that I do wish that they had more of is beauty events. I wish there was more beauty cons and more style cons and things like that. I wish that was more often. That doesn't really happen too often unless you have the ends on where these beauty events are or where they're held. It's really hard to find out where beauty events are. So I'm definitely interested in doing more beauty events and going to more beauty events out here, but it just doesn't happen as often as I wish it would out here. That's about it for all of the pros and the cons for living in Dallas. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. I'm more than welcome and more than willing to give you guys some answers to your questions if you are planning on moving to Dallas. Just make sure that you hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that notification bell, and make sure you come back for the next video, because I'll be doing this series on my channel and I'm really excited to be bringing this series to you guys. So other than that, I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye.
Girl, you fine, girl, you fine. You gotta be mine, gotta be mine, gotta be mine. You so bad, yeah. Gotta get back, yeah. You so bad, yeah. Gotta get back, gotta get back, gotta get back, yeah.